Hi guys, and welcome back to Train Sim World 2. We are doing the second part of our Q352 manifest train, which is running down towards Cumberland Yard. I'm going to hit the go button and we're going to continue on. As you probably noticed, I am recording this in one big session. So if you did comment on the previous video and I do nothing about that comment in this video, then I do apologise. But as I say, it's being recorded all in one go because annoyingly the game has a habit of, if I was to go and save this, come back to it, it would save my progress. The loco would also be stopped. Our train would be stopped dead and we'd have to continue from a standing start, which, granted, we're on a downhill slope, that wouldn't be an issue. But we wouldn't have done that in real life. You'd do it in one drive, and I kind of want to try and keep that effect, even if we have done it in two parts of a video. Squeezing on the brakes slightly. It's using the initial reduction to try and maintain our descent. I think I may be able to get away without gauge lights now, yeah. So it is bright enough now, you can see our gauges clearly. Okay, maybe not our brake ones, but it's well enough that we can see our brake pressure. At least look, see? Still greens all the way in. We have got a speed limit increase coming up in roughly half a mile, 900 yards. Counting. But despite that, I don't want to let my train get away from us. Of course, that 35 limit starts when the rear of the train passes through. And I know there is a way, as I say, of using the end of train device. But we don't have it switched on for whatever reason. So we shan't worry about it. Slight overspeed there. Another 15 points dropped. I have switched to using the controller again now. When I first started out, I think all that lag in the start of the previous video was partially attributed to the controller for some reason. Because when I stopped using the controller and started walking around using the keyboard, it went away. Now it could be that I just have to give the game time to load up more fully. Or maybe not, who knows. Maybe I should just go ahead and order a NVMe drive. Stick this on it, stick Transport Fever 2 on it when I come back to the game. Wow, where did that speed limit drop come from? We were supposed to be heading up to a 35 limit. And that, guys, is why I wish I'd done more runs on here. So I expect that. My horn's still not working, of course, there. Because, yeah, that said 35 and we've hit a 25. Which, as you can imagine, is very annoying. Again, I don't know if that's a issue on this sand patch grade or whether that's a legacy error that's passed over from World 1 and Heavy Haul. Either way, that's ruddy annoying. I don't remember it, but as I say, it's been at least a year or two since I did a full run down this route. One thing I did have was a horn back then, though. So, yeah, if anyone's watching this and thinking, oh, try and beat his score, remember that decreased to a 25 instead of an increase to 35, and you'll bag a bunch of extra points over me. I don't even really go outside. I mean, I know technically I've got the controls, but this kind of descent, part of me wants to go and explore the scenery, part of me just wants to sit here and control our train. One thing that will add to the immersion is when rail driver support finally lands for this game. It's supposed to be coming, it has been delayed, but you know what, I'm not surprised. Sorry to say it, Dovetail, but not surprised in the least. And that is one of the reasons I wasn't actually going to upgrade to World 2. I did say before the game was released, and they said, oh yeah, this is coming at a later date. And apparently multiplayer, we'll come back to that in a sec, multiplayer. Remember that, it's important. But yeah, they said rail driver and other third-party peripherals support would be coming. It wouldn't be here for Train Sim World 2's release, but it would be coming. And part of me was like, yeah, I'll buy Train Sim World 2 when you actually release all these upcoming things, using quotation marks there that you can't see, but hey ho. Yeah. And then they had a really good deal. I had the money in the bank. I believe it was the East Coast Parkway that come with the deluxe version. And I don't own the East Coast Parkway. So I was like, you know what? Sod it, let's do it. Sand patch had been overhauled, got the adhesion physics and a couple of other things. Potentially a speed limit error. But, you know, got the Bakerloo line, which ironically I haven't touched since our previous Train Sim World video, which you will find linked in the description of this video, and also in the Train Sim World 2 playlist that you will see advertised at the end of this video and the previous video, in fact. and go check that out and see how it run down the Bakerloo line. But yeah, as I was saying, getting slightly distracted. I wasn't going to buy the game, went and did it, but I'm not surprised about these delays. I was always skeptical. I thought, yeah, they're going to say they're doing it, but is it going to be out before Christmas, these updates? And although they haven't said how long the delay is, there is a delay. It's like, yeah, okay then. Ooh. Now we're heading in quite a steep descent now. As you can see, there is a crawler track on the other side for trains that are really struggling to get up the hill. I think we're okay just flying on initial reduction, just to pinch the brakes on for now. But we are going to have to keep an eye on our speed from here on in. But yeah, the other thing, as I say, multiplayer. There was that thing earlier in the year when I can't remember if it was Dimitri that was community manager at the time. Someone who said, we never said multiplayer would be a part of Train Sim World 2. It was just a hoped for feature. No one said it would be in it. And there was a lot of backlash against Dovetail for that. And of course, some enterprising person managed to find the footage where Matt Pedalston was happily saying into the camera, yes, there will absolutely be multiplayer in Train Sim World 2. Now, no, sorry, in Train Sim World, this was. Get it right, Nick. Absolutely multiplayer in Train Sim World. And so they've had to kind of, for a start, buried their heads in the sand, didn't say anything about it. Kind of hoped that it would go away. Now though, they have come out and said, we don't know when it'll be, it's not at the top of our priority list, there's a lot of things we need to work out, but multiplayer is potentially back on the cards. And that makes me a bit happier. There's a lot of disagreement about how people would like to see multiplayer implemented. There's a lot of discussions, some people saying, oh, we don't want it. It's fine. You know, not everyone has to want it, but I do. And the reason I want it is, we look over there, you see that nice young lady sat there? Well, that could be your real life buddy, or your internet buddy, who you get along with, you like, you trust. They could be sat there, and when you get down into the yard and it says, oh, you need to change points, you need to detach this, this and this, they can be your conductor. Right, so 35 limit sign there. Now bear in mind, we've got to get there first. That 35 limit. And look, we've got a 30 coming up right after it, which is annoying. So that means we'll never get this train up to the 35 because the rear end of the train is still going to be under a 25 when we hit that third sign. It's kind of redundant on that 35 limit there. And also, I didn't see the sign for the 30. But hey ho. It's all moot because we're still under 25 limit. Now. There we go. Got our 30 limit. Let's notch up and get going. So yes, multiplayer would be coming, and I'd like it so you can have a driver or engineer and a second man or conductor, and you could have it so it's all hosted player side, not server side, so you're not gonna cross dovetail to run servers for people, and it doesn't need to be massively multiplayer. Limit it to say 6 people. That's all it needs to be at most. So you and your buddies could potentially, with 6 people, you run 3 trains. And you might say, well, Long Island Railroad, any of the commuter routes. Oh, there's a collectible right there, that broken post. Yeah, any of the rapid transit, metro routes, London Underground, so on and so forth. Single man operation. You don't need a second man. Yeah, granted, I get that. And in those instances, yeah, you don't need multiple people. And the trains are so spaced out, okay, they can't run full service frequency because the game just can't handle it. Or more accurately, our computers wouldn't be able to handle it. You could run a service on, say, the London Underground, 6 of you, running trains close enough together. And if they did it so you were close enough together that one of you could potentially cause a backlog for the others, that'd be cool. And then, as long as there was a way to make up the time. If the timings are so tight that, you know, a train gets behind, you can never recover, then yeah, that's a bit sketch, to be honest. But there's ways to make it work. And more importantly, I'm thinking of these more long distance routes where you have shunting, where you could have someone operating the doors, checking the platforms, giving you clearance to go, that kind of thing. That could be fun, I think. And that's the way I would like to see them implement multiplayer. Ultimately, it's up to Dovetail how they want to tackle it. Whether they want to host it, have the server client side or sort of developer side. Who knows? But it could be here. And they are talking about fixing stuff. Like Powering America Part 1. I've always shied away from that because I've always heard there's issues with it. Like route breaking issues where you cannot finish the service. So I've never tried it. It'll be nice to have that fixed to the point where they say, yeah, go run it now. You fix whatever the issue is. You can do the service and complete it without issue. Go have fun. And when that's done, we will do it. We will do Powering America Part 1, Part 2 here on this channel. And I think it'll be quite fun. Now that's going to be the other thing, I suppose, is if you did have multiplayer, would you have it just on service mode, or would you have it on stuff like journey mode and scenarios? My understanding is you can't do it for scenarios because the dispatcher, how it's set up, cannot control it essentially. You have custom instances in there set up to make the scenarios work, so you can't run a full service around that, which is fine. If we only have it on service mode, we only have it on service mode. But, you know, I suppose the other thing is if people are making custom scenarios with the scenario editor, would you have that as multiplayer? And would that be then down to people who create the scenarios to actually make them so they can work for multiple people? I mean, again, it's a moot point at the minute because you can't share scenarios, you can't share liveries, which is another reason I haven't looked at them yet. And maybe they're ironing out all the kinks before making them shareable, which, if that's the case, that's fine, that's completely understandable to me. Let people have access to the tools, get to understand them, work out how to use them, and then step back and say, right, what needs fixing, what doesn't, and then when you've got it all fixed, when it's all working, then possibly say, yeah, you can now share your creations because the person on the other end is going to be able to use them. Which, that makes sense to me. It's a case where we can never share these things. Bit of a letdown. And ultimately that means we'll never get a full editor. I mean, arguably, you could say, well, what will the editor consist of beyond scenario and liveries anyway? Obviously, creation of full unique routes and creation of locos and rolling stock. Yeah. Supposed to be possible, whether it actually will, whether, I know I've mentioned this before, I wonder if it's a licensing issue with the Unreal Engine, which means we can never get it. Yeah, I don't know. Until someone comes out and says it from Dovetail, we will never know. A lot of people have given up on the editor. I personally have. You know, it is what it is. With the time I have available for me to even play the game, I can't say that I would have enough time available to go and make my own route anyway. I do have an online course available to me that I purchased a couple of years back, so I can learn the Unreal Engine, but you know, not even got round to looking into it, and not sure I ever will want to, so you know, it is what it is. We were told we'd need to know the Unreal Engine in order to use the editor, full one. Maybe that is true, maybe it's not. Alright, that's enough rambling from me. We are 3.5 miles out from our next point at Hindman. And yes, we're not too far away from Cumberland Yard now. What, we're 26 minutes? So, yeah. Probably about 15-20 minutes left of this run, I'd have thought. And it was supposed to take about 90 minutes. I think at about 7 o'clock we finally got rolling. But yeah, that would take us to 8:30. If we're on schedule, that is. I don't know how well or how badly we're doing, to be honest, time-wise. All I know is we did have our overspeeding incident, and we've spent some time not doing the full track speed. So I don't know if that 90 minutes assumes we would be or not. What I do remember is this long 30-mile-an-hour run. Driving under the speed limit, of course we are. We are being good. 30 limit sign there. Kind of a moot point. We've been at 30 for a very long time now. Still descending at 1.6%, which is why we're having to keep flicking on the initial reduction. Oh wow, that looks like more than a 1.6 drop there. I've got my hand firmly gripped around the brake lever. Didn't pull it quite quick enough, but my hand is on it. I don't know, 1.4% still. Maybe that is what our descent looks like. We just haven't really got a good side-on view until now of the track. Increased 1.5%. May not sound much, but believe me, in a train, every 0.1% makes a difference. Under green here is not surprising. We're not going to catch another train, let's be honest. The only time we're likely to get signal check would be if we're waiting for a train to come out the yard now, or if indeed a train ahead of us is waiting to go in. But looking at the time, I think that's unlikely. I expect we're going to get a nice clean run in the yard. Another squeeze. Oh, got an up in there. It's going to be another point loss. 1.8 miles to go. I think it's a bit over 2 miles in actual fact. Yeah, I've got some weaving still to do. They're really starting to run away from us here. I know someone's going to probably be in the comments saying, yep. If he was using dynamic brake, you wouldn't have that issue. Which I would respond, yeah, you're probably right. But as I don't recall how to use it, I can't. I think we're going to have to take a run through the tutorials when I get some free time. It's one thing I do want to do is go grab some coal on a run. Which, I'll be honest, I don't know if there's a service that does that. I know there is a scenario for it, which I believe will be your Power in America scenario. But as I say, don't know if there is a service mode one, because as you will have seen when I tried to go and refuel, the instruction isn't there because AI can't refuel. The AI only knows to jump out and stop and then get back, start again, and that's all you can tell the AI to do. They're not able to interact with things on foot as we would. Pass on the horn there. Which bell off. They're 50 miles an hour now. That's not until the rear of the train passes that point. To be honest, we don't want to be doing 50 miles an hour if we're at Hindman. Through the crossing gate. Give it a squeeze again on that initial reduction. There we go, there's our 50 limit marker. actually going to accelerate though until we know how far our next go via location is. But say I know we're not too far out. There we go, objective complete. Oh, 11 miles. Okay. Let's get the power down then. I thought we had a lot less to go. So yeah, this could end up being quite a bit more than 90 minutes. But we will keep on going. We have another train here. Now, see that one through? There we go. Back to notch 1 now. Slight decline to help us roll. Let's give it notch 2 then to help it roll along. Yeah, 9 miles still to go. We are losing a bit of speed, so we're going to notch up a bit. Do want to get down there today. Have to notch up a bit more. I was expecting that to be sufficient to get us down the hill, but no. Okay, 48 mile an hour. What if we give you notch 7? 49 now. Back 5. That's it. Nicely holding 50 mile an hour now. More of a gradient. As you can see, we're curving round now towards our destination. We did get the briefest flicker of a approach medium on the HUD. interesting. A mile and a half away from the next signal, so nothing to worry about yet, but it certainly is interesting if we are catching a train. I didn't think we would, certainly not as we were slow getting away, but we don't know what is up ahead, to be fair. We don't know what has joined on one of the spurs, possibly. I'm nearly on the level now. 0.3%. Notch 7, if that's enough. Could be enough to hold us at our present pace. Yep, back up 49. Notch 6 possibly. No. We are grabbing speed again. Should hopefully hold us for a little while. Notch 4, 50 mile an hour. Here's our signal. Got a green and no aspect on the hub for the next one. This is a bit disconcerting. We have still got a 50 mile an hour limit coming up, so in theory we're absolutely fine again. There we go. We've got a medium signal ahead. There's our 50 mile an hour limit sign. 5.3 miles as crow flies. As we are curving away from it again now. I don't think that lasts too long. We're 43 minutes on this video already. Admit that caution signal up ahead is a bit worrying, but 1.6 miles away. And I'll be honest with you right now, we're not going to follow the rules, because of course when we pass that yellow we should drop to a restricted speed, which had we not got our HUD there, we would do. But I'm looking to get down the mountain safely and quickly as possible. So as we can see when or where a red light will be, we can keep the pace up until such incident occurs. We just wanted to have a look out the window there. We are approaching that caution signal now. There it is. Now, I know a lot of people have mentioned that that's too bright in the game. You know what? I'd rather have it over bright like that, so we can react in time. Seeing it, and have it realistic, and yeah, have it come as a surprise to us, honestly. Oh, right, got a 35 limit coming up ahead. So we are getting down to Ellerslie quite quickly. Let's just see. Yeah, number 9. But there's the rear of our train here. But there's our next market. Wow. So yeah, that's not even halfway to our destination. Wow. Yeah, so that's the thing. One thing's for sure, we're not going to finish this in the next 4 minutes. Not even going to get to our next marker in the next 4 minutes. But you know what? That was always a risk, that this video was going to be a bit longer. I knew that was always going to be the case. What I could have done is just pause the recording and put an outro in the previous video and an intro it for this one, and recorded it as one long one and done some editing. That would have been one way of doing it. But and look at that. Just looking out for the sign. By the time I see it, too late. Have another approach signal. Medium. Yeah, we've lost points again, we know. I don't know if the reduced speed was for the previous curve and this curve, or whether it's for the town passing through here. Do you know? No, you just sit there, don't you? Sit there doing nothing, let me do everything. Wow, there we go. All stop in 2.4 miles. Oh, you know what? If that's going to become an issue, then that might be the end of the video, guys, in 2.3 miles. Let's knock off the power. Let's re-race a pickup truck. Headed over there. Always going to have a friendly little race on our hands there, but unfortunately not. It goes up to 60, but then we've got this 25 limit that's hidden somewhere here. Somewhere here. Come on, game. There's the 35. Definitely flashed up with a 25 previously. It's relevant because in 400 yards, 450 yards, we've got a 25 anyway. And I slowed the train down way more than we needed. Regardless. Yeah, definitely 25 miles an hour. Hold it. On notch 2. Oh. Rather be all out than in. So here's our next marker point. Words escaped me there. Yeah, there's our next marker point. So, stop at location, Cumberland receiving yard in 5.3 miles. Ah, we've got ourselves a yellow. It's positive then. We can go notch 4. Notch 5 maybe? We are on the level. To be actually travelling at 25 through here. Yeah, looks like notch 4 will be sufficient to hold the speed. Of course, on the curves you are always going to lose tiny bit, but I think it'll be alright. Thing is, just looking at time, it's going to take another 10 minutes at least to do 5 miles at this speed. Train, you can do this. Come this far now. The cool thing is, about once we get here, is we are going to earn us a nice wedge of XP for both the loco, the route, and our player. Of course, all that XP is kind of irrelevant, again, unless you've got multiplayer or mastery, which, of course, mastery is not a part of the game just yet. It's supposed to be coming to Train Sim World 2, but it's not implemented yet. It does worry me a bit about leveling up too much. Because if they say, oh yeah, advance 10 levels, then I've already advanced to the point where getting a level takes a lot of driving. And that's going to be a bit annoying. Right, things are looking a bit more familiar to me now as we get closer to Cumberland Yard. I do vaguely remember this area. Oh, we've got it red. Come on, train. We do not want to fail this now. Please off the brakes. We're all in at 1 mile an hour. That I can live with. Come on. Yards to our signal. We're going to stop just to the point where we can see it. Ah, there we go. Look ahead, we can see there's the loco coming out. So just knock the speed on ahead. And we're going to put some brakes on because we are on a 0.7 then incline. We don't want it to be rolling away backwards. It'd be interesting to know if we got our train rolling in time, whether we would have actually gone ahead of this. I feel we may have done actually. So this wait may be my fault. But we do get to see a train passing, which is always a bonus, I guess. Here comes the rear of our train. Wow. So we got a good to go signal pretty quickly there. Do notch 4, try to get this train underway. So we do want to get out right away before anything else tries to jump in ahead of us. Not that I imagine it would. So next signal post is 1.9 miles and we have 3.9 for our destination. And we're just coming up on an hour and 1 minute roughly of this video, so you know, it is going to take us probably an hour and 10 minutes for this video, which I apologise guys if you are of the persuasion of shorter is better, but it's either heavily edit videos or give us a longer run. Maybe you can let me know down in the comments which you prefer. Certainly help us decide what to do for our next runs. Now we do have a 15 limit coming up, which we need to be ready for. That, of course, is likely for a switch over. So you have to ask why we wouldn't have switched now if that was the case. We'll find out in 100 yards. I do know is we're losing speed. And I hadn't clocked that before. Whoa. There we go guys, that was some wheel slip there. Crazy amounts of wheel slip. That's kind of fun to see actually on the HUD. Yes, adhesion does work. And janky turning by school buses also works. I don't know where. I think it is just the severity of the curve then that dropped us to 15. We have got a 35 limit again just up here. Yeah. That suggests that that's all it's responsible for the lower speed limit. It's the curvature. But anyway, regardless, we are making our way slowly but surely around to Cumberland Yard. I think this is Cumberland Station. It is indeed, look. Probably got our screenshot. Jump back in the cab anyway. Need to keep an eye on our speed around here, which we can't very well do if we're sitting outside. give it an extra notch. Yeah, I've dropped slightly. Can go up to 35 again when the rear of train passes. Not a button there, is it? No. Yeah. Still trying to work out into train device. Oh. Okay. Getting a little bit carried away there. Now, of course, we're losing too much speed. Slight incline now, so we'll give it a bit more juice. Come on, train, don't fight me. We're nearly there now. Just 2.9 miles to go. There we go. Now we've got our 35 limit. Expecting another yellow warning signal up ahead. To be fair, that could be as much because we're approaching the yard as anything else. Keeping an eye around this corner for it. There we go. No, it's switching over there at 27 miles an hour. There we go. We've got our yellow. Back a couple of notches. We're coming now. But this is the start of Cumberland Yard. We are going round to the receiving yard. 2.2 miles away. That just gives you an idea of how big this place really is. Got a coal train over there. Not sure how long that whole train is. It's certainly long enough. Question is, could you get every loco set them all up for multiple unit and pull every wagon in Cumberland Yard up to Sandpatch. It might be a question for another day. A few wagons there, I believe that that is the repair yard. It's saying we can do 50 now. Do we want to be doing 50? I mean, we've got 1.8 miles. So maybe, yeah. What the heck is going on there? Weird phasing in tanker car there. Whoa. $15-mile-an-hour limit coming up, guys. Come on. Shave that speed. Come on. That's what I hate about this game. The fact that they just suddenly drop that on you. By the time the brakes fully released, we've come to a stop. Do a couple of AC 4400s on some auto racks coming in there. Of course, we've got plenty of time to see it because of that late speed limit. Now I know that, again, as I say, it's partly due to our lack of knowledge, or my lack of knowledge of the route, but my god, that gets my goat. But hey ho. Maybe if we was going straight up it would be a 50 limit, but we're not. We're coming across. Still got 1.5 miles to go. Which would take about 2 minutes. 2.5 minutes. If we were doing 50, but we're not. We're doing 8.4 miles. Ah, so that's the hump. Interesting. But the auto racks aren't going up the hump, are they? No, they're going round it. Yeah. That's track passes under. Yeah. That's our hump. They're on the level. Cool. Switching over again. And we've got a red in 1.5 miles. Well, that's fine by me. Right now, though, I would like to get a bit more speed in. Now, we just pass over here to go back over that track. Lovely route in game. Really lovely. .2 miles. I would go with what the red light says, 1.3 miles though. Over 1.25 hours. Kind of wish, you know, I took the first video to a full hour now. hey, it is what it is, guys. Hopefully you don't mind how long this is taking us. Nothing else, it's a what not to do video. And only a mile to go anyway. Hopefully the game's not going to say anything crazy like, oh yeah, you've got to go for a mile walk now. Then that would be pull your hair out time. And also maybe spare a little. One thing I will say though is the yard is remarkably empty. I would have expected to see a couple more trains parked up around this receiving yard. You know, but it is what it is. Notch 4. 0.8 now. Our destination marker and the signal are in agreement now. It's good because that must mean we've pretty much got a straight line now. But, yeah, we can see it in the distance. All those reds. We are going to try and hold 15 mile an hour for as long as we can. So yeah, that 2 hours 6 minutes by the game's reckoning. That's insane. Yeah. Counting down in yards now. Both to our stop and the signal. Don't think we need to worry until we get to about 200 yards. $700 yards to go. $650. 600. We're getting there slowly. It is slowly. Oh, so very slowly. The important thing is we are getting there. Might be worth saying as well, it is coming up on 11:30 at night for me here in the UK as I'm recording this, so with me having to be up in just over 7 hours, this can't come soon enough. Didn't honestly think it's going to take this long. But anyway, less than 300 yards to go. 8247, you have seen us well down the mountain, and for that we thank you. Right. Let's give it some initial braking. Yeah, we're off the brakes, off the power. Yeah, come on. Keep rolling at 7. We're gonna have to give it a bit. I think so. Come on, train. Come on. .6. Eight, 7, 6. I think that's going to be pretty much spot on there. So 2 hours 7 minutes taken. We have got ourselves a gold medal. 53.43 miles driven and 419.91 yards walked. So that was just us trying to get our train rolling. As you can see, we've got our actual times there, not due times and stop accuracy. Oh, that's a shame. But there you go, guys. If you want to take me on, there is your score to beat. 8,665 AP. Anyway, that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, go ahead, hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already. Maybe even consider sharing this video out. See if we can get as many people down in the comments to say if they've done this run and what their score is. Screenshots on Steam, link that to those. I'll be very happy to go see them. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye for now.